Hi, loves. My name is Pia. I'm an astrologer and a manifestation coach. I bring together the art of astrology with the subconscious mind, and I help people to manifest their desires and to work on their self-concept. And yeah, I'm very happy to do this video. I have actually tried to do one on Instagram already, but it's just every time I try to do it on Instagram, it's just too less time. So I think YouTube is a perfect space to get into that a little bit more. So long story short, I just want to begin with what Mars retrograde is and how it impacts us and what the universe is inviting us to embody more of so that we can actually manifest the desires that we truly are holding. So Mars retrograde, when we are talking about Mars, Mars is our masculine energy. We're not talking about women or men here. We all have masculine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So Mars is really speaking to our masculine energy. And when we have a planet like Mars being in retrograde, retrograde means that we see Mars from the Earth perspective moving backwards. And what that means in astrology is that we are from the universe invited to reflect and to go inwards with that kind of energy, to understand how we want to maybe shift or align ourselves in new ways so that we are moving forward in a healthier way. Saying that, Mars is all, as I said, all about our masculine energy. Masculine energy in this universe is all about action. It's about the way we act, the way we react. It's about the way we move forward in life. It's about the way we are going towards our goals. And when we have an unhealthy way of expressing our masculine energy, it can result in us being coming from a maybe like very scattered place. So we are taking action in a way that is actually not really healthy and helpful to our desires, because we are coming from a place of inner fear around something. So we find ourselves being maybe motivated by pressure, feeling like we need to do in order to get results, and we need to do fast and we need to do a lot. So a lot of people, I think, struggle with that energy in terms of, we are programmed and we are raised as a society to believe that we have to do a lot in order to get what we want. We have to really effort ourselves into our desires. And obviously, if you are still holding that belief to a big extent, then this will lead the way you are taking action. So you might try to do a lot. You get stressed out by maybe problems. You want to solve them in a fast way because it almost feels like, it feels uncomfortable to being with what's here in the moment, and you just try to do. Or you feel like, you feel pressured, you feel like you want to achieve something. You think without achieving your goals, you are not worthy of love, or you're not worthy of respect, or whatever it is. So that's very much the unhealthy masculine way, or the unhealthy masculine energy expression. So I'm just using these examples in order to kind of bring your awareness to these things and help you understand a little bit where you might coming from when you are taking maybe like taking action from a place of fear or pressure. Or maybe you react in certain ways because you feel like that's something that I have definitely dealt with, is you might react out of a way of fear. Somebody is like coming with a problem, or somebody is like asking you to do something, or you get an invoice, you get a unexpected invoice, or you get something from the government and you're freaking out and you feel like you have to take action, and everything is based off fear. So we are very much from the universe invited to look at the ways we are reacting and taking action. And we are invited to also balance the feminine with the masculine, because that is what ultimately leads to us being more in our healthy masculine. It's the balance between the two. So I see the balance between the masculine and the feminine, especially when it comes to taking action. I see it as a dance. I see that the masculine is taking inventory and like looking at, okay, what is it that I truly desire? What is it that I want to move towards? Where does my soul feel truly aligned, and what does my soul feel excited about? So the masculine is very much like looking and understanding what it wants and what it desires. And the feminine is then receptive to that, and kind of like goes into the feeling realms and allows the masculine to do. So how that could look like is you manifesting something, desiring something like, I don't know, I want that job, for example. You want that job, that dream job, and you are deciding, the masculine, that this is what you truly want to do. And then you kind of like trust that what it is you want is also wanting you. So you trust that your dream job is also wanting you. You relax into a state of the feminine, which is like relaxed. You are letting go of the pressure, and your intuition, the feminine, is giving you kind of signs on when to act and what to act on. So it's almost a stance between I the masculine, I want this, I go towards this, while the feminine is like giving intuitive nudges on when and what to act on, and then the masculine goes out and acts on it. So a lot of people, when we are talking about manifestation as well, a lot of people are confused because they think manifestation is all about you sitting there, basically just going into the feeling state, the feminine, and then just letting it go, and this thing that you want is coming towards you. No, it's knowing when to act and what to act on and how to act in order to get your desires to meet you. So it's very much talking about the aligned action. If you are not taking the time, if you are not letting yourself go into the feeling and, imagining how it would feel like to have your dream job, and like imprinting that on your subconscious mind, you are way more prone to act out of spaces that are actually unhealthy, like old patterns of yours, old beliefs of yours. You are coming from that fearful place that I was talking about in the beginning. Your subconscious mind is not yet, prepared for what you desire. And so your actions are not going to get you there. So the balance between the feminine and the masculine needs to be there. Your garden, the feminine, needs to be watered, needs to have the right preparation for it to allow the seeds that you plant in those feeling moments, allow the seeds that you plant to really flourish and become the plant that you actually desire. I hope that makes sense. But it's very much about this dance between the feminine and the masculine. Without one or the other, we are not going to get there. So it's all about like feeling into the wish fulfilled and taking action from that place, knowing that what we desire is already ours, and then we have the chance to actually take the right actions to get there. And what I, for example, struggled a lot with in the past, I was very fast in reacting towards certain things that would pop up in my mind. And I actually had very recently a situation where I got an unexpected letter, and I was, in the first moment, I was going into an old pattern of mine and feeling like I have to now do everything in my I now have to do everything in order to make this thing go away, in order to not feel the uncomfortability of receiving that letter and what it meant. So I took a few breaths. I actually had a friend as well with me, which was perfect. And I just realized this is an old pattern of mine that I actually want to let go of. I don't want to get freaked out. I just want to take my time. And actually, when I took my time, when I kind of realized, or when I just looked at what the situation was really about, and I went into myself and connected with my inner being and trust, I realized that the stress that I had in the beginning of receiving what I received was not necessary. And I actually very supported in my life, and there's like nothing that can actually throw me off. So I was like immediately going into a new state of trust and surrender. And then it turned out to not be that bad. Anyways, so what I want to tell you with that is that we are really invited to look at those old patterns at the moment and see where we are still coming from a place of fear, from a place of pressure when it comes to acting, and how we can change that, how we can move into a place where we feel more connected to our soul and to our true selves. Because the thing is that everything we put out will also come back to us. Because when we are coming from a place of fear, we get results that actually create even more fear. If we are coming from a place of stress, we get results that are even creating more stress in our lives. So that's what we are learning with Mars retrograde, to really take our time to go into a more peaceful and relaxed state and take action from that state. I want to give you an analogy that I feel like very much helps with going into that peaceful state. At least it did for me. I'm reading Neville Goddard at the moment, and it's all about the law of assumption and manifesting our dream desires and how we actually get there. And he was talking about something that I actually was resonating very much with. He was talking about that, when you are watching a film for the second time and you know already how it's going to end. You're going still through the motions of the film, you're not completely indifferent to what's happening, but you know that it will end well. So there's almost, when you are looking at the film and when you are seeing all of the struggle maybe the main character is going through, you're still feeling with them and you're still allowing everything to come up. But there is a state of peacefulness, that because oh, it's going to work out anyways. So that's how I want you to think of the manifestation process and the way of acting as well in our lives. How would you act if you know that everything is working out for you in the end? Would you take your time? Would you even act? It's also about, okay, is it about action at the moment, or is it about inaction? If you know everything would work out for you, how would you make your decisions at the moment? Who would you be in this moment? And for me, this analogy with the film very much helped, because it's not about, turning off all these emotions that we feel. Because of course, when you get, for example, an unexpected letter from, and you need to pay a lot of money, for example, of course you will not open that letter and you will give immediately thanks to that letter and feel like super relaxed about it. But if you would always know that everything would work out for you in the end, you will maybe like freak out a little bit in the beginning, but then you would come back to that peace and that trust, and you wouldn't go out and act immediately, but you would kind of like try to calculate a little bit. You would take your time. You would think about, oh, how can I actually approach that in a way that makes more sense, that gives me a lot of like trust or whatever. So I feel like this analogy of the film, knowing that it will end well, is something that we can really apply to our lives. And I feel like this is perfect example for this Mars retrograde period, and how we are changing and how we are able to align ourselves more to a version of ourselves that feels truly trusting in the soul, and that feels like very connected to the universe. So I hope that my explanations helped you. I have something for you that I wanted to share, because it's very powerful. It's a meditation that I love. It's called Taking Action. And it's very much about you aligning yourself to that knowingness that is trusting in its path, that is trusting that everything works out for you, and you aligning to that, and then reevaluating and kind of like taking a different action, taking an action that is coming from a place of peace and trust, or deciding on something that is coming from a place of peace and trust. So it very much aligns you with that inner trust, that inner peace inside of you, and enables you to take better actions going forward. So that's something that I definitely can recommend doing. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to hear your questions about Mars retrograde or anything else about manifestation. As I said, I just love to just bring you along my own process at the moment. So that's why I'm also giving more examples of mine. And yeah, I hope that was helpful. And I see you in the next one.